What's the elevator pitch of V Labs? Can you explain in your own words?
In short, V is the AI execution layer, basically helping healthcare and life science enterprises to turn their data into next best actions. To your question about hospitals, we help patients and physicians from a surgery to an appointment to basically take their next best actions, second opinions, to move their health journey in a much more precise, predictive, and fast way. And we help optimize supply chains and operations. So staffing, scheduling. We bring three main things to the table that differentiates us from the Palantirs and other enterprise AI players. The first is our data edge. We have arguably one of the largest world data sets for clinical, behavioral, and operational data. As you've mentioned, 190 million lives and 1.2 petabytes computed data. It's a massive data set.
That's for context. I actually Googled it. That's 1.2 million GB of data.
Yes, sir.
That's insane.
It is.
How did you go about collecting that data?
As you mentioned, it's not an overnight success. You need to go day by day, year by year, and gather and make this data, by the way, fully privacy safe. So we anonymize all of the patients, but we gather lots of learnings and knowledge about the health space, number one. Number two is we deploy and productize agents and models specifically specializing in the health domain. So we call it the vertical AI application layer. And number three, we have skin in the game. Our business model is very straightforward. We win only if our customers and their patients are winning, and we have a way to price and keep ourselves accountable for their outcomes.
So it's not a traditional SaaS model. Like, how would you explain your business model?
So you're spot on, and it's actually a very critical point. We, for the last 5+ years, are selling value. And this is not because of the current hype of selling ROI. We always believed that selling on a seat-based level is the wrong incentives. You want to be completely aligned between you, your customers, and anyone that is part of the value chain, including obviously the patient itself. So in super short, I'll keep it at 30 seconds. We go into a customer, we underwrite and map out where we can help. We can reduce the cost of patient activation or clinical trial acceleration. We can increase the amount of usage in a healthy service for a hospital or a provider, or we can save you tens of millions of dollars in operations. We bake it into our pricing model. We go into a pilot of 3 months with a control group. So you have fully transparent with V and without V control group versus action group. We prove value, and only when we prove value, we turn it into a flat fee, monthly fee based on this ROI. And there's full transparency for the client. So if we don't deliver after a year, after 6 months, we can stop and re-underwrite to make sure they do get the value they need.
That's a much better business model right now because SaaS is going through a bit of an apocalypse. Have you thought about being partners in these businesses and taking equity?
We definitely did. You want to make sure you're staying the Switzerland of the industry, if that makes sense. So, my job in life is to be as impactful and scalable. If we want to create what we call health abundance in the next 5, 7, 10 years, you can do it if you have an over-incentivized across a specific pharma company or healthcare company. So we make sure to get upside, but we never took equity. But you're asking the right questions. Many companies are saying, guys, we feel that you're an extension of our technology. You are an amplifier. We want you to think enterprise value. We usually turn it into cash normalized by MRR because you also don't want to get a $10 million check, a one-off. You want to create predictability should the company at any point will want to go public, which is definitely not the case right now, or just want to create predictability for investors or shareholders. You want to normalize it, if you will, over 2 to 3 years ahead.
And I'm guessing you're not competing with the OpenAIs and the clouds of the
world. We work with them. Those are one of our partners. So V sits on top of existing data stacks. So you keep your Databricks, you keep your Epic, you keep your Viva. And we also leverage our own proprietary models, but third-party models, like, as you've mentioned, anywhere from the OpenAIs of the world and Anthropics to the more local models and private models and open source models. We use those models and productize and train them based on our data and expertise, so they like it. Think about them as the OS store. We build the actual application for the end client.
I think the good thing about OpenAI, they're infinitely scalable. How scalable is your company, like, and how many countries are you targeting?
So again, as mentioned, we need to stay focused on humble. So I don't want to throw empty statements and numbers out there. I can give you non-V related numbers. So first of all, only the healthcare and life science market by itself is 19% of US GDP and 12% of global GDP. So we're talking about trillions of dollars compounded, number one. Number two, the fact that V is a Switzerland. I don't focus on a specific clinical or population expertise. And I also cover the full value chain. V activate new patients, V engage existing patients, V operate for operations. I don't want to say endless time, but we have years of growth ahead of us. And every time I'm being asked by board members, Omri, what you are doing now, we might be able to do it for mobility and governance and defense. I'm here because of the purpose itself, because of the mission. And I think we're fortunate enough to have enough big of a TAM to focus on it for the coming years.
I saw in an interview you said you use 20 LLMs. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I don't want to treat it as like a hard-coded number, but what you need, I think, to hear on this one is the following. We are cherry-picking deterministic models and probabilistic models, which are the LLMs of the world. Usually it's 15 to 20 chosen models at a time. And the reason is you want to pick novelty models and specialize and productize them versus being a supermarket and a reseller of models. And it's very nuanced. It's not like that every quarter we change all models. It's an incremental, now there's a new LLM model that's coming out, like the Opus 4.7 is better for internal coding and agents. Great. Maybe there's a different Mistral model that we can deploy for operations. Let's check it. But it's a cherry picking piece versus a hard coded list.
Yeah, I've been using a lot of agents in my businesses, and you still need a human in the loop.
For sure.
How do you think about agents?
First of all, I think you're spot on. And I think you need it on the two ends of the value chain. On the V side, we have QA people. It sounds obvious, but we believe we have a very flat AI native approach. I can explain how we do it if you're interested, but we basically have an IC culture from day one, and the AI native is amplifying it. So it's not that we have 10 humans per employee. We have small squads, very prominent and fluent AI people that usually have traditional software capabilities, but you also have QA testers. To your point, there's lots of hallucination and probabilistic potential mistakes. You need someone to work off the workflows. This is on the V side. On the patient side, you have moral, judgment, and compliance problems. So you need agents to do the heavy lifting. I'll give an example. You went to a United Healthcare coverage or to an HCA hospital. You were diagnosed, God forbid, for a kidneys problem. Even if there's an agent that once you went out of the doctor, triggered the next best action and gathered and scheduled the next second opinion appointment and got the payment from your healthcare provider and employer and sent you an update about your journey and what's expected. Great. You still need a human to intervene. It can be a nurse. It can be an engagement specialist. First of all, to show empathy. And we're moving into a world that you have massive heavy lifting by agents, but also human authenticity, judgment, and compliance by humans.